As much as you focus on constructing each and every music track for your song, the vocal track plays a very important part. And it's very good to have multiple vocal layers and pan them or make them stereo in such a way that the vocals sound big and it's going to fit clearly well in your song. That is why background vocals play a very important part when it comes to a vocal track. Apart from the lead vocals, it's the background vocals that really make the vocal track shine. And in today's video, I'm going to show you all the background vocals that I used for my recent song called as Reasons, deconstruct it and show you exactly what kind of layers I chose in order to make the vocal track sound big. I'm Florina Jain, otherwise known as Flow of Music, and I put out a lot of videos on music production, so do subscribe if you haven't yet. So without any delay, let's get started. Here's a short snippet of all the vocal tracks that are there in this song.
I've got reasons to lift my hands.
So clearly the vocals is sounding massive and big, right? And there's so much of layers going on. Everything that you see on screen right now are the vocal layers. So we're gonna go step by step regarding all the background layers that I have. This is obviously the lead vocal track.
I've got reasons.
And if you want to know how I really process this lead vocal track, you need to click the link that you see on the screen and you learn more about processing lead vocals. The first thing I want to tell you is that the way I processed all these background vocals are more or less the same way. It's the same order of plugins that I followed. Maybe the volume balancing might be different, the panning might be different, but the plugins that I used and the method I used to process them is the same for all these background vocal tracks. So let's take these two. These two are exactly the same copies of the lead vocal track, but note that it was recorded twice, okay? They are not the copy paste part, okay? So these were recorded individually and that only gives you that stereo effect. If you just copy paste the same track and just try to pan it in the left and the right, it's almost equal to, listening to it from the middle only. So that's not going to give you any stereo effect. Only when you record it twice, you will get the stereo effect. And that, if you ask me why, it depends on a lot of things. Definitely when the singer tries to sing the same thing again, it will not be, exactly the same. There might be a small error in the tempo. Maybe they won't exactly start it on bar, slightly before or after the bar, and all those tiny errors make up for the stereo effect. So listen to these two tracks.
I've got reasons. I've got reasons to live.
Now, if you actually look at the processing part, what I have done is a gain automation. So if I open the automation thing that we have in Logic, all these are gain automations. So technically, even before I enter this track into a compressor, I just want to make sure that it's volume balanced properly. That's why I've done a gain automation, and I have not done the automation on the volume fader. This is set to -10. It is in the gain plugin where I've done all these automations. So if you see here, I have reduced it and here I've increased it because if you look at the waveform itself, this is louder than this, right? So that's why I reduced it so that overall when you listen to the track, it's going to sound from the same level. I'm not changing the tone though. And the next is a Waves Tune plugin. Now this is an auto-tune plugin. I kept it to the key of the song, which is C sharp natural minor. Correction is to 90. And the note transition and all, it's the default values only. The correction is set to 90. After that, there is a EQ that I added and I removed all these lows. And then it goes to the compressor with very mild compression. It also goes into two reverb actually, two buses that go into two reverbs. So look at the way these two vocals sound.
I've got reasons. I've got reasons to lift my hands.
Without these two,
I've got reasons. I've got reasons.
So you all will definitely agree that when these two tracks are added, it's sounding a bit big, right? No tone change, nothing. It's the same way that she has sung in the lead vocal itself, but the volume is less and I've panned it. Now let's look at the next two background layers. Now these two are the lower octave of the same song. Let's listen to it once.
I've got reasons. I've got reasons to lift my hands. So many reasons.
So this is like really low, okay, but it's just one octave lower. The processing method is again the same. It's a gain automation, waves tune, channel EQ compressor, and 2 reverb channels. But the reason why I added this low octave track is it's gonna add strength to the track. So if you take any track with instruments on it, it's gonna sound empty without the bass, right? And when you add a bass to that track, even if you don't hear the bass notes properly, you still find that that bass track is adding strength. It's giving life to your track. And similar thing is only happening in these vocal layers also. I'm adding this bass vocal track so that it's going to give strength to the entire vocal layers. Just listen to this with everything turned on. So technically I'm turning on the lead vocal, the 2 panning for the lead, and these 2 low octave vocals.
'Cause I've got reasons to lift my hands.
So it's definitely acting like a backbone to the entire vocal track. The next layers is these 2 layers. Now the tone of these 2 tracks is a bit huskier. I made the singers, sing the song softly with a lot of falsetto. See, imagine you're singing a song, but you're using a lot of falsetto and you're not gonna use your head voice or your chest voice. You're not gonna use that. That's how I made us sing this. So listen to this one.
'Cause I've got reasons.
So too airy and with a lot of breath.
So many reasons.
So let's hear this with all the other vocals that we talked about.
I give my praise from my heart to your ears.
So obviously this again is adding strength to the vocals. It's adding another dimension to the vocals as well. Now moving on, we have these 2 tracks. These 2 are higher harmony tracks. So definitely when you have vocal tracks, it's going to sound beautiful when you add harmonies to it, right? So you can choose high harmonies, low harmonies, blend them together, and that's going to bring a lot of new perspective to your main vocal track. So I'm technically treating the vocal track as another instrument, and I'm trying different ways and different layers by which I can make it sound big. Just like chords. Usually you don't have just one track where you have chords, right? You have layers. That's how I'm treating the vocal track as well. So this is how these high harmonies sound like.
I've got reasons to lift my hands.
So if you ask me how I can figure out the harmonies for a song, so you take a C chord, okay? C, E, G. Suppose the root note or the note that comes in the lead track is a C note, then the harmony 1 will be when you sing the E note. Harmony 2 will be when you sing the G note. This is a simple concept to find out the harmonies. Harmonies generally, for me, if you ask how I do it, it comes naturally. And I keep singing a lot of songs and trying out harmonies, and it just came like that, okay? But if you want it theoretically, this is one way by which you can try.
Receive my worship, it's all that I give. So many reasons.
And finally, we have the low harmony as well. This is how it sounds like.
So many reasons. I've got reasons.
So note that this low harmony is not a lower octave of the higher harmony. Think about the method I told you. So probably E note is going to be the high harmony. Then G note may be the lower harmony. It's like that. If you actually listen to the high harmony and the low harmony together, this is what it sounds like.
I've got reasons to lift my hands.
So clearly it's not the same, jumping in octave and all that. This is a different harmony altogether. But if you want to listen to it together, this is what it sounds like.
So many reasons. I've got reasons to do my dance.
And also note that all these two tracks that I'm talking to you about, everything is panned in a certain way. So this is a low harmony track. And finally, I've got some ad-libs over here. Listen to how this sounds like. I'm just gonna solo this section alone. So the way I processed ad-libs is a little different. I added again automation. I added waves tune, and this time I just added a compressor. And then I have a chroma verb through a bus track. The decay is for 4.5 seconds. Attack starts a little later. There is no pre-delay that I kept. And I've really cramped up the volume that goes into this one. Okay, so that is the reason for all those big reverbs. And And one more thing, I'm going to show you the pan knob. See, I have automated the way it pans. Sorry, my dog is shouting a lot and that is why you will hear all these barking in the background. But anyways, if you see the panning, I want this to be panned to the left, the first ad lib, and then I want the next section to be panned to the right, so on and so forth. And that gives you the illusion of movement. That is going to add a lot of beautiful effect to the main vocal track. So we're going to listen to the entire vocal track again right now. Try and listen to all these individual tracks.
'Cause I've got reasons to lift my hands. So many reasons, I've got reasons to do my dance.
So were you able to figure out all these tracks? Maybe it will be difficult to figure out one or two tracks together, but the beauty is all these minute details are adding to the overall quality of the vocal track and it's sounding really good together. Even these ad-libs, so you may think right now, I feel like the ad-libs are very loud. If you actually listen it with the track, so I'm going to play everything together. So the way you mix it happens individually. So first, I concentrate on only the vocal tracks, fix everything, balance everything out, make everything sound well with each other. And then later on, it is also my job to balance the track as a whole, which means I need to focus on this particular group and make sure this sounds well with respect to the percussion, with respect to the bass and all that. That is why if you look at the group track, the vocal volume is a little less. So individually, I balance it first and then as a whole, I balance it again. And that is the output of this whole track. So if you ask me, will you be using all these types of tones for all the tracks that you do? No, I may not use the same thing. Maybe I'll use a lead vocal. I will use the DT of the lead vocal twice. I will definitely add harmony. I may not use the lows or the huskier version. So it really comes down to the way your genre for that song is. In this particular song, I want to have it as a Christian pop genre. And this was also trial and error. I didn't have a mind fix saying these are the layers that I want. It's with the singer and we talk together and we try out different styles and see what suits well. And again, even after the recording stage, if I don't like something, I won't even use it in my song. So that's how I try. So the point is, treat the vocal track like how you would treat every other instrument track. So if you take a look at the chords, now I've added 3 layers of chords. First layer, second layer, third layer. Now together with all these 3 layers only, it's sounding nice. So that's how I even treat the vocal track. So always treat the vocal track like another instrument and think how you can enhance it. There are obviously a lot of songs that just have one vocal layer only, but they might have a lot of ad-libs to them, or they might have harmonies to it. The point is to make your vocals sound big and thick and strong if you want your vocals to shine. So I decided to show you all these background vocal layers that I added in this song because you guys texted me and commented on my previous YouTube video. So if you want to learn some other concept with respect to music production and something else, just drop it in the comments and I'll definitely do a video on that. I hope this video was useful and I hope you learned something new with regards to background vocals. If you haven't listened to the whole song, it's out on all streaming platforms. Just search Reasons by Flow of Music and you will get this. So I hope this video was useful. Thank you so much for watching. Keep making music and I'll see you guys in another video.